Welcome to all. Today we have to perform uh, activity number 2.4.11, and this activity we have to modify the single area OSPF version 2. And this modification we have to two things we have to modify. First, we have to change hello and dead intervals between the two routers, and then we have changed the bandwidth of a particular router and check whether it will how it will affect on in our topology. Now the addressing table is given to us, and we have standard topology as we know about it. Three routers, they are connected with three LANs, but additionally on a router 2 it is connected with the internet cloud. Then we have a web server. So OSPF is already configured in this topology, and all end devices currently have fully connectivity. We have to modify the default OSPF routing configuration by changing hello and dead times and adjusting the bandwidth of a link. Then we have to verify the connectivity again and to check whether it will ping from PC1 to web server or not. Now, to modify the OSPF default setting, before we have to check whether the connectivity is working or not. So in packet tracer, we have two option. Go to the PC1, then go to the command prompt, and here we can use the server IP, ping to the server IP 64.100.1.2. So ping 64.100.1.2. So it is successful. It means connectivity is there. OSPF is working perfectly. Now on a router 1, they said we have to modify the hello and dead interval times. And on which interface? The router have two interfaces. The router 1 is connected with R2 on the interface of S0/0/0, and then on the router 2 also have an interface that is called S0/0/0 interface. I will show how we display the interfaces here. Go to the preference. So now you can see the interfaces stack S0/0, and they have two interfaces S00 and S001. So it is like right now I am disable it now. So go to the router 1, and here first we have to go to the config T, then interface S0/0/0 interface, which is connected to the router 2. And now here I have to change or modify the timers. So OSPF first timer is hello interval timer. The command is IP OSPF hello interval. By default it's 10 second. I have changed to 15 second for hello interval here. And for dead interval, IP OSPF same command with dead interval 60. Once I press enter, you will see this some messages coming to, and it will down your neighbor relationship with the next router. So you see these messages down, neighbor relationship down. So as we discussed already, that between two routers, if you run the OSPF, their hello and dead interval should be same. So on a router 1, we change the hello interval, but we can't right now. We didn't change the hello interval on router 2 interface, which is connected to R1. So what I have to do, I have to go on router 2 again and enable, then config T, then select the interface. So the interface is S0/0/0. Again, same command IP OSPF hello interval should be same. So on a router 1, I configure 15 seconds. So here also 15, and IP OSPF dead interval also configure for 60 seconds. Now both have a same hello and dead interval. So sure. See that message, now the addresses are fully loading. addresses are just built up. So we see these messages now. So if you run the command show run, so this configuration will reflect on the interfaces under the interfaces. So interface as 0/0, 15 and 60. Okay, and they have learned all the network. Similarly for router 1, if you want to check, see show run. So under the S0/0 interface, you see this command. Okay, so now it's configure. Now we try to ping again from PC1 to our server, and whether it will work or not, we'll see. Now again the connectivity is established. So this is the first part we have finished here. Now the second part is to adjust the bandwidth on a router R1. First we have to check the traceset between from PC1 to the web server, and check OSPF select which path. As you notice here, R1 have multiple paths. R1 can reach the web server here with the help of R2, and R1 can reach to the web server with the help of R3, then go to R2, then web server. So actually OSPF uh, metric use a cost to select the best path. Okay, so right now which path they are following, for that one we have to use one command on PC1 that is called tracer, that is used for trace the route. So 64.100.1.2, it's a server IP. So if you see here, first packet delivered to 1.1, it's a gateway IP. Then 3.2 is the IP address of a router 2 interface. So they to reach to the router 2, and then they will forward the packet to the server public IP address of a WAN, this interface internet, then they reach to the server. So actually our packet right now they are following this path. So if this path is down, then they select the second path. But if I want to use this path forcefully, so what I have to do, actually I have to change their bandwidth. So on the router R1 serial 0/0 interface, set the bandwidth 64 kbps. This does not change the actual bandwidth or port speed. This is only used for the metric calculation process. So R1 will calculate the best route again. So on go to the router 1 again, I make it if you see here, router 1 show interface as 0/0/0. Right now its bandwidth is 1158. Okay, so what I do, um, config t interface as 0/0/0. The command is bandwidth, and I can configure 64 bandwidth, lesser bandwidth. Okay, control Z, show interface as 0/0/0. So now the bandwidth is 48 now. Okay, and let's also reflect in show run here. Okay, and so now trace the path between PC1 and the again web server, and now it will be redirected through R3. OSP prefer always the lower port cast. So we'll see, this is my R3. Again I use same command, use up arrow. So now you notice that I make it bigger one. So initially before changing the bandwidth, it will pass through the router 2. Okay, see here, router 2, this IP is for router 2. But now after changing the bandwidth, they are forwarding from 10.6, and that is this network 10.6. So it will follow this path to reach the server. So by changing the bandwidth, we also can forcefully change the selection criteria of best path of OSPF. How the OSPF select the best path, we can change it manually if we change the bandwidth with the physical command.